Welcome to today's conversation, Better Balance, Better You. We're going to learn and understand how to balance all the things in life, from work to, most importantly, family, friends, other relationships, and most importantly, what matters to you yourself. That's incredibly important in today's world. Everyone is fighting for your attention. They want you to do something that they want you to do, not what you want to do. They're always going to be taking your time, taking your energy, and it's important to make sure that we have some good balance in there. Who am I? I'm Coach Brian Pirana. I've been a health nutrition coach for the last 20 years. Way back in 2004, I got an exercise nutrition degree. From there, I was a personal trainer for many years. I've owned 2 gyms for about 5 years. And the last decade, I've been talking to people about their everyday health, their everyday life. I've even had the fortune of having a CrossFit world champion, Betsy Finley, at the age of 60, and Sophia Renioso, a Olympic kayaker, not only just in Paris, but Tokyo too. It's been awesome to help people, and today we're going to help you figure out a better lifestyle that centers you in the middle, not other people or other things. Now the chat box is open. Please chat, ask questions. The more you engage, the more excited and enjoyable this experience will be for both of us. Today's agenda, we're going to go over productivity, time management, multitasking, overworking, and setting priorities. How do we make sure that these are at the top of your mind here when you leave this and actually have some ways to implement some new boundaries and strategies and be successful with implementing them? Better balance. Life is busy. I'm 42, married my high school sweetheart. We have 4 kids. Oldest is a teenager freshman in high school. The other 3 in middle school, 15 to 9, 3 boys and a girl. Tonight we have a concert. The last 2 days, kids weren't at school. That threw us through a loop because of the cold. Tomorrow we have a swim meet, and the list goes on. Plus, my wife and I have to work and earn a living to pay for all the food that these kids eat every single day. So for you, work, family, friends, appointments that have to be happening, these are all on your calendar, taking the adulting that has to happen every day. It has to happen every week. The responsibilities are things you have to prioritize, and they're not going to go anywhere. So how do we make them fit in? How do we address them in a better manner, a better way to help you be obviously more successful with this? How do we use balance and time management to fit it into your day and prioritize what happens at key times in your calendar, your work day, your family day, that allows you to be way more productive and way less stressed? And you ultimately, when you lay your head on the pillow at night, you feel more fulfilled. And you can actually go to sleep, and your brain doesn't just go into the worry mode that it does, thinking about all the things you didn't do, or all the things that you have to do, or all the things that worry you. Of course, common themes are going to be plan in advance. Think ahead. Look at the calendar. Make sure that you have an understanding of what needs to happen. I know tonight we're going to a concert. Tomorrow I'm going to a swim meet. After that, unclear. Not quite sure what else is happening. We want to prioritize your health somewhere in this. If you're always giving to others, you never give to yourself. And that ultimately hurts you in the long run and keeps you from being long-term successful in this process. You will catch the cold. You will unfortunately gain weight. You will potentially get increased risk of disease and other things that happen to humans as we age. And you can just look around. Obesity is an epidemic. 40% of Americans are overweight or obese, and it's only getting worse. What else do we want to focus on? Being present and focus on what's here in the now. I hope that you're paying attention to this conversation that we're having together and not scrolling on your phone or something or just staring off out the window, that you can really engage here and take something away from this. We only have the here and the now right now. My full attention is on you because I want to deliver a great webinar for you and a great conversation and engage you and make it fun as well. Avoid things that hurt rather than help. Of course, multitasking, we will get into this, it's not effective. You can only do so much as a human being before you literally just don't do a lot of anything at all. Of course, what gets measured can get assessed, can get thought about, and make progress on. Number 2, let's talk about productivity. Accomplishing more with less. That's the underlying derivative here of whether you have more time or less time, but more output. That's usually what your employer is looking for. Productivity is a relationship between the quality and the quantity of the output and the resources that are used to produce it. Think of a goods. You get this quantity of a product produced, and the quality of it will help increase the likeliness that it actually gets in the hands of consumers. They talk about it, they like it, they share it with their friends and family and their social circles. And then you have a product that is selling like wildfire on Amazon or wherever. But also, if you get that initial buzz and things start to go, and then all of a sudden the quality isn't there, it backfires. You start hearing about it quite a bit more. Higher productivity is ultimately accomplishing more with the same amount of resources that you have. Now, in a business sense, we're looking for the amount of people and the resources of time and knowledge, and how do we get as much output, how much service can be delivered for the amount of people and the education and the experience that they have. If you have a good ratio there, you have a great business, high profitability, and hopefully the company shares it with their employees. Looking at this, the benefits of being more productive. Who doesn't want to be more productive? Who just wants to wander around the day wasting time and not actually getting anything done? That's what creates that worrisomeness feeling when you get to bedtime at night. Wow, I look back and nothing got accomplished. Greater output occurs when your time is managed efficiently and you're able to produce more with less error, less resources, less time. For you might have your people and you have to get this service or product delivered and done in a timely way, and we want to make sure that we're accomplishing things without error. We don't want to have a meeting for a meeting because of a mistake that someone made and then have to fix it after the fact. That's not helpful. Another one, you feel more accomplished. When you're productive, you have this self-satisfying achievement in a sense of just feeling really good. And it really fosters personal growth and definitely professional growth. Your coworkers will definitely see that time and again. We have less stress. More tasks and responsibilities are being addressed, and there's literally just less pressure to deliver. Systems are optimized. Processes are written in standard operating procedures. People are operating in a way that facilitates the objective being done. Then you can be more calm and just enjoy the experience in a sense, and whatever that means, to help you get through it. Know that by Friday, the tasks are going to get done at work, and it wasn't just this giant ball of stress the whole time. And lastly here, last benefit, of course, is burnout. We want less burnout. We want our employees, we want our managers, we want our owners, we want our customers to experience what our general mission is. which is any productive business in the world is here to provide a product or service that adds value to the world. I got something the other day from Amazon, and unfortunately it was a piece of junk. I ended up sending it back, and it just felt like a waste of time. Why did you even make a product that just didn't deliver on what it was said to do? It's mind-boggling. And it was the product just didn't work. The battery ran out, and it just didn't provide the outcome and the experience I was after. So I was a little frustrated, and I had to then go back and spend more time dealing with it, even though I wanted to just buy something and just move on. All right. Life hacks for greater productivity. These are going to constantly show up for us in this conversation, but most importantly in your day-to-day. Creating a schedule. What gets scheduled gets done. Okay? Very important. You can then stick to the plan. You have blocked times to allow for things to get done. They call it Pareto's principle, which is the amount of time that's allotted for a certain task to get completed is how long it's going to take for that task to be completed. Say on Monday you get a task that's due on Friday. It's going to take you the whole week to finish it. Whereas if that task was due Tuesday, you're going to get rid of everything that's non-essential to make sure that you're able to deliver on what needs to happen tomorrow. So effort, intensity, focus is going to happen quite a bit. Getting adequate sleep. Of course, if you're not rested, good luck. You're going to end up running out of energy. You'll have a Foster dog cup of coffee. I have a metal cup that has our Foster dogs, Godzilla and Olivia. My kids it's about 3-4 years ago that we had them. And consequently, the kids definitely took advantage of the Godzilla name. But you're not running around on caffeine all day and just ultimately, you just don't get anything done. You're not up to the effort that's at hand. Eat healthy. Of course, if we eat healthy, then what we put in our body, we are giving ourselves then the opportunity to thrive in a sense. We're going to limit distractions. They are everywhere. You literally can't go anywhere, especially if you have a phone these days, or you go drive anywhere. You're constantly getting marketed to, advertised to, suggested, influenced to be able to have someone take your attention. And that's really what today's economy is. It's an attention economy. The more attention that you have on your product or service, the more profitable it likely is going to be. Lastly, keep it clean. Clutter is overwhelming. Some people can manage clutter better than others, but a nice clean workspace, a nice clean home, going to a restaurant that's cleanly, going to a friend's or a family's house that is clean. It's really important to keep your energy levels up and not just get worn out. Managing time. Being a health coach, I talk to people about nutrition and fitness and movement, stress management, and time management. Oftentimes, some of their situations have been created, say, gaining 20 or 30 pounds because they lack time management. They don't realize. They think they need a meal plan. They think they need this food strategy. And ultimately, they just need to slow down and shift some of the time that they're taking up every day and allowing it to be focused on, say, meal preparation or going to the grocery store. Can't tell you how many people aren't planning in their grocery shopping for the week. Next thing you know, they're eating out and they're at risk of eating more calories, which gains more weight. There you go. It's a time management issue more often than not a another type issue. Where are you spending your time? Average people are spending 8.5 hours at work, potentially up to 5 on the weekends per day sometimes. If I'm self-employed, if I'm working that much, there's a direct relationship to the income that I can make. The more people I'm serving, the more value I'm providing, the more help, the more phone calls I'm taking, that's a win-win. But if you're just an employee and you're working on the weekends and you don't get any more money, you're just rounding down your hourly rate in a sense. So it's something to be very conscious of and protect your time so you can live life and enjoy it. Leisure time, we're spending 2-3 hours on TV, potentially in a day even. And this is definitely significantly up in the last, say, 20, 30 years as opposed to prior to that. And the accessibility, especially with mobile screen time, is tremendous. You are able to limit the amount of time that your phone gives you, at least on the iPhone. There's screen time. It's in the settings. You can set time blocks to help limit the amount of time that you're spending any given spot. Social media being the first and most obvious. I'm sure in Android phones have a similar mode of opportunity to limit your activity on the screen. Also, you really have to understand why are you picking up the device and looking at it in the first place and not get thrown off track. And if you get on social media without a very specific objective, you're going to burn 1, 2, 5, 10 minutes pretty darn fast and not even realize it. Where do you spend your time? I've had clients, again, going back to the time management, do a time audit. They'll sit down and they'll write every 15 minutes or 30 minutes, every half hour of their day, write down what are they doing and is it actually serving what they're supposed to be accomplishing or not? How well is the time being spent? That's incredibly useful if you say you have no time or you say you don't waste time. I promise you, as a human being, you waste time. A little bit here, a little bit there. It all sneaks up. Now we can find technology to help us with tracking apps, with calendars, with monitoring our overall activity of the day. We can also self-evaluate. Simple questions. Am I distracted on certain tasks? If something shows up, then we want to make sure that you are... someone's coming in. Let me look. I don't know. They should be able to just get in. I don't see... Do a quick time out here. I don't see an opportunity to let people in. Everyone just signed in to the webinar, and I've never had issues with people getting in. They just hit the link, and I've had 100 people show up on one. So hopefully it helps. Hopefully they can find out. Just follow the links in their emails to the Zoom. It should work, I hope. If not, I hope you're taking good notes and you can share with them. And then certainly you can also ask at the end, there's some emails that you might be able to email to troubleshoot if the issue is there. I'm on the presenter side, not on the technology side. And again, there's no opportunity here to let anyone in to the meeting here. All right, back to it. Thanks for that, and let's use that Q&A box for some questions or engagement here too. Do you notice any, going back to what we have here, do you notice any certain tasks that you are delayed on, that take longer than they should, that are not exciting for you to do, and then you create procrastination? Are you allocating your time appropriately? Do you have enough time to actually accomplish a task that you needs done? Are you only blocking off an hour when you should probably block off 2 hours to make sure you can accomplish something? And then where at in your day do you find yourself wasting time? When do you catch yourself holding your phone and not doing anything productive with it? Are there times where you just get lost in thought and you're spinning your wheels without any action being taken on whatever is next and most important in your world? Let's make sure with our time we're being reasonable. We want to be patient. Time management is a skill set that can be developed over time, and you improve the more that time that you spend. Even to the point of having timers. They have the Pomodoro timer. It's called the tomato timer, but it's a 20 minutes of on and then 10 minutes off, or 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. You can set time to have these crunch sessions to get a lot done, and then come up for air to breathe, grab some water, go to the bathroom, move your body, get the blood flowing, and then go back into work. Okay? Set realistic deadlines. Assess your ability to manage your time well, and do so against reasonable expectations. Don't say it's going to be done tomorrow when it actually is going to take you 3 days. That's going to place an incredible amount of stress on yourself, on your team, on the process at hand, and increase risk of error and not being done on time in the first place. Then, of course, we want to celebrate. Every time I get on phone calls with clients, I always open with successes. I know these people are trying really hard to change their life, their habits, their behaviors, their routines, with their food and their activity. It's incredibly important that we give them time and space to celebrate that and acknowledge it, especially when humans generally round down, meaning they go to the negative more so than the positive. Everyone's going to maybe had dinner tonight and it was fabulous. It was just knock your socks off, so good. But then you might have complained about the parking situation or another situation at the table, or it took too long, and all of a sudden all that stuff outweighs how good the actual product was at the restaurant. Of course, the whole experience is the product, but you get what I mean. Making to-do lists. My wife's favorite thing for me not to do. I like writing stuff on scrap papers, and for years I'd just leave the papers around. I would scratch them off and get things done, but I wouldn't throw them away. And they would just find themselves in a corner somewhere on the counter, and she would go crazy about it, in a sense, right? Be a little agitated. Why are these things here? We've talked about it. There's no necessary reason they should be here, but for me, having a to-do list makes things really easy to accomplish and make sure I'm paying attention to what matters. When you have stuff out of your brain and onto paper, it clears out the headspace so you can think of more important things, more important tasks at hand, and start figuring those things out. By allowing you to get it out on paper, then you have a clear objective of what's most important to what's least important. And now all of a sudden you can prioritize out your day or your week on those most important tasks and then shift downwards on that. Today, my most important tasks are to show up for my client calls with energy, excitement, and engagement so I can help them reach the goals that they are after. That's my number one priority in my business and my family life. I'm showing up ready to engage with my second son, Everett. He's in the orchestra, and that's who's playing tonight. Viola and steel drums. He's doing both. Take advantage of idle time. If you are a passenger, you can use your commute, but also if you're driving, you can use your commute in some ways. There's so many opportunities to leverage listening to content, to podcasts, to even listen to YouTube videos. You can listen quite a bit to that and gain knowledge while you're doing another task. Having time to call someone when you're driving home. That's a great time to check in with people and connect. Therefore, when you get home, you can just get to work and you can be successful with what comes next. Meditate to prepare for or relax for the day. And take a time out, a mental reprieve on what's to come next. That's important. So let's chat. Hit up the Q&A box. What are some activities that you do with your idle time, whether they're good or not? For me, I plan my workouts. I am a business owner. I'm constantly thinking about what the next thing is. I spend a lot of time working, but I get direct benefit from that. Of the more I do, the more influence I can have and the more value I can provide, the better off things are. All right, who's here? We have one post that they read books. That's awesome. A great time to get some fiction in your life. That's wonderful. We don't want to just always be just grinding at work. Think about just the enjoyment, the life experience, so to speak. Completing puzzles. This one time I had a Waldo. Where's Waldo? It's a running joke in my family. I'm a big Waldo fan, and I would do it with my kids when they're growing up. We'd race to find where Waldo is, and you'd have to call it out. Waldo, Outlaw, Wizard, Ducktail. And we would say those things. Well, my wife got me a Where's Waldo puzzle. Actually, 2 to 3 of them. I got a boat one, which was fun and enjoyable, but the Waldo one was hoy vey. It had a troll and a troll and a dragon, and then 150 Waldos. It was impossible, and the puzzle pieces were created in a way that it wasn't obvious where anyone went. They were oddly shaped, but puzzles I spent like 3 hours and maybe got 50% done. Oy vey, that was a lot of work. Working out is always a good one to use your idle time on. Wonderful. All right. Taking a break. Oh gosh, I can't tell you how many people I have to tell them to stop working through lunch. I understand that you want to get work done, or you feel you have to get work done, you feel compelled to, or people keep booking on your calendar or whatever, but you are allowed to have a lunch break. You're allowed to have at least 30 minutes of time where you don't have to work. You aren't getting paid usually during that time, and therefore it's really important to take a break. The reason being is you'll feel more refreshed and ready to work when it is time to work. You can also go out and move your body. I posted a YouTube video of Donna, and Donna she is wanted to race through the day, the work day, schedule meeting, all this stuff to get to the end of the day, to try to get off work early because she worked over her lunch break and then go on a walk then. Well, Donna lives in sunny San Diego. The warmest, best part of the day was around lunchtime. Sunniest, warmest, brightest. Might as well get out and enjoy that experience, and especially for the cost of living out there. We finally implemented it, and there's a direct correlation to Donna moving more, especially at lunchtime, and changing her body. It's been really cool to see, actually. I knew it was going to happen, but I needed her to learn and see that as well. So taking breaks is really important. You're more productive, you're more fresh, you're more prepared, it's just a good thing to take a pause. I believe only in America do we have this obsession with working every hour of the day. And maybe if we rewind, there was times of siestas and midday breaks that allowed for just relaxation. Because humans are meant to take breaks. They don't work and work and work. It doesn't work out. Multitasking, good luck. Studies show that very, very, very tiny few amount of people are effective at actually multitasking, being able to comprehend and do things well on a high level. This is important to know and understand. You think you're multitasking, but you're not really actually getting anything done when you look back. That's really important. We don't want to focus on multiple things. We want to focus on one thing really well, accomplish it, and move on. You just want to make sure that your task list is well designed. Does anyone on here think they're really good at multitasking? I'd be curious. I want to think that I am, but I'm not. I'm often distracted. You can probably tell if I am multitasking. If I was trying to text someone right now or something, my phone's like right there. If I was texting someone, you'd hear these pauses and these gaps, these like timeouts in a sense, and then I have to come to and then get back into the presentation. So it doesn't actually work very well. Life hacks, how do we prevent it? We're going to go back to some of the things we're going to talk about. Make a list, prioritize what's most important, limit your distractions, don't have notifications going off all the time, emails and texts and all that. That's not helpful. And then bookmark it. Make sure that when you are getting ready to shift, you're definitely taking notes, having a good reference point for when you get back into task. You can jump right in quickly and not have this ramp up time of effort, energy, and focus to get back on task. That's a super secret hack. If you can do and schedule, then you will be successful quite a bit more. Overworking. I think we all could probably raise our hands in that area. Less is more. As you can tell, more work doesn't always equal higher productivity. As you can tell in the image, the girl is slouched over. She's looking at her computer. She's stressed. There's piles and piles of paper, and they're on her desk, and they're falling all over the place. The image shows stress. It shows exhaustion. It shows burnout. Now, whether you're in, say, a manufacturing job and you're standing and moving in a repetitive motion, or you're in a desk job and you're sitting for long periods of time, bad posture, repetitive posture can really make an impact in your body, your mind. You're going to be mentally fatigued by the time you get done as well. So it's really important to know and pay attention to. Signs you need a break. Well, if you've got headaches, or you're dizzy, or your neck, shoulders hurts, you're blurring vision because you're concentrating so hard on whatever it is, you just internally agitated by the screen in front of you. You're daydreaming, you're off staring at the snow. Oh, wish I could be outside with my kids sled riding right now. That'd be fun and different from what I'm doing right here. And just lack of focus. Something you sat down to do in 25 minutes is taking 40. Yeah, that means that we need to take a break. We need a refresher. We need maybe some energy, some food. Sometimes people don't manage their nutrition very well. They're tired. They run low on energy. Staying productive. How do we do this? Again, scheduling breaks throughout the day, making sure you have strategic times in the day that allow for you to slip away, walk around, most importantly, get blood moving in your body, and then you'll have more energy. Movement is energy, I always say. So we want to make sure we stay there. Limit distractions, just like work. We need to have breaks can have distractions and you actually don't get done whatever you needed to in the break because you got distracted, or you're walking to leave the door to get on your 10-minute walk around the block and someone steps in and takes up 10 minutes. Talking about a work problem. Do the linebacker move, juke them. But here goes the hand, stiff arm, juke them, go out the door anyways. I'll catch you in 20 minutes. Not right now. I got something to do outside. And you don't even have to explain it. Prioritizing your time. Make sure that you do the most important things and tasks earlier in the day. And know that you're going to be more mentally fatigued, just more tired in the afternoon. Very important to make sure you're managing those breaks well. Unplug. Getting away from technology at all costs is super duper helpful. I keep my phone at a distance when I go to bed every night. I'll put it in the other room. It's one room over. But when it's bedtime, it's in the other room. It's not next to my bed. I'm not staring at it. I'm not spending more time on it. I actually enjoy Sudoku at bedtime. I don't think about anything but numbers. What number goes in that little box there? Is it a 4? Is it a 7? I don't know. Let's look up here and let's look over there. And like, oh, okay, this is a 4. And that keeps me occupied. And it really makes myself way more engaged with the act of going to bed. I'm not talking. I'm not racing mind. I'm able to just fall asleep. So maybe you can try it. Certainly reading is good, but if you can read a good book and you're wrapped up in the story, then you're cliffhanging what's coming next. I want to read what is going to happen then. Lastly, a disadvantage of the phone or a screen or a device in the bedroom or just around you is there's the constant brightness of it. The blue light is harmful to sleep cycles, and notifications are constantly going off, buzzing and causing problems to get that rest that you're looking for. So setting priorities. How do you decide what's important? That's where it's all said and done here. I love this slide. I actually shared these concepts with a lot of people a lot of the time. Stephen Covey, who's the author of 7 Habits for Highly Effective People. There's 4 quadrants here. All the tasks should be taken as a role of importance and then urgency. What's urgent and important is completed first. What's important but not urgent, block time to schedule. So the first things you do in your day are the most important things for you to accomplish to get your job's tasks done at work or at home. If it's important but not urgent, you schedule it. You say, hey, this is great. I'm actually busy right now, but can we meet again at 3? I'm open then. And then ta-da, you can then set the time then and get to it. Urgent but unimportant, can we get someone else to do that? That's important. We want it to be free of things that aren't as important to you to do. If it's neither urgent or important, then let's just get rid of it. Let's not do it. Okay? Now, Josh Kaufman is another figure that suggests MIT's most important tasks at the start of each day. If you list down 2 to 3 tasks that are important for you to accomplish, then guess what? You can then focus on those objectives to get the job done. You focus on those 3 and then you will be successful. And then tomorrow you write 3 more. Over there on the desk, I have a big folder and I have a sheet on it too. Those are constantly reminding me of what's important. My to-do list, constantly reminding me of what's important, whether it's at home, a home task, or a work task. Today, what's most important is I go pick my kids up and go to their school like 5 times. I have to drop them off, I have to pick 1 up, pick 2 more up at 5, and then I have to go back for a band concert tonight or an orchestra concert. And so I'll be going 4 different times today to the school. It's 15 minutes away. Do some quick math. I'll be driving a lot just to go to and from school today. But that's important because I have 4 kids and adulting. If you have kids, you get it. But MITs are most important tasks. Pay attention to them. Focus on those. You will be way more successful. You'll be way more liked by your coworkers. You'll be way more loved by your family members because you get stuff done, which is what everyone wants. Make sure that we're reviewing goals. What's the main objective of even this next 3 months of time? I have some of that prioritized in my business. I have some of that prioritized in my life. We're going to go to Mexico to an all-inclusive. Escarre, my wife's a travel advisor. That's really important. Our family travels together. And we do some really epic things. We've gone through all 50 states. We're doing multiple countries now. And that's kind of on the chopping block for us. It's important that we do this, especially as my kids are young. We create the experience for them to really thrive in life, hopefully, right? I hope so. All this time, money, effort. I've driven my family tens of thousands of miles all over the USA. But reviewing the goal of what's important. Okay, we're going here. What do we need to do to set that up? How are we going to be successful in our businesses to make sure we have the money to go do that? How are we going to make sure that we have the time off and we can have everything organized and available for us to be successful? And again, always be realistic with what's available. Your time, your energy, your effort, your personality, your skill sets. These can make you really successful or limit you quite a bit. So I want to thank you for your time today. Joining me on Better Balance, Better You. I'd love to hear any takeaways. Certainly you can hit them up in the Q&A. I hope that you manage your time so much better, that you prioritize yourself more importantly than you have in the past, that you don't get distracted, you stay more productive. These are all wonderful things to be paying attention to really thrive at life. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your time.